Hello and welcome to episode 6, series 2 of Not the Chair Circle, the antidote to group therapy, which is a lot to get out in one breath. Originally we were going to call the show No, 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 1,000 times no, no please I beg of you, not the dreaded chair circle, followed by an interrobang. When it was decided at executive level, Bobby No Mates, that was far too long, and anyway we couldn't get it on the thumbnail. The letters ended up being this. So it became Not the Chair Circle, as you know. I had to fight actually to get the exclamation mark included. Bobby said it was frivolous punctuation, but here we are. Now, because we are a series of the old-fashioned variety and not a mammoth season, 6 episodes is your lot. This is the finale. Now, rather than do a making of like we did last time, me and Shaggy just had a root round on the editing room floor and picked out some of our best bits. In this series, we have seen a few new faces, and I think as well, the old faces have really spread their wings. First of those has to be your very own Shaggy. Having gained his own slot after spontaneously enhancing Dr. Robert's psychology lectures, he went from strength to strength, giving us his own personal insight on society today. Can you hear that, viewers? I've got a studio audience. The first newcomer to appear was the redoubtable Mike Gobshite. He took up residence as our only television professional on the team. He brought with him the combined talents of chat show host and investigative journalist, which have proved invaluable. He began by gaining a rare interview with Babs Balladeer, frontman from the Bedlam Boogie Boys. Consummate professional that he is, he even managed to create an accommodating environment in which Babs might be interviewed in comfort. Can we have the arrangements, please? Yep, yeah. Thank you, that's great. You can bring him in. Yeah, lovely. Yep. He then went on to work with Dr. Robert, not known for having a collaborative nature after Shaggy's interventions, in tackling a very sensitive subject. Tonight we're going to be asking the question, YouTube, is it suitable for adults? YouTube itself. We also had the chance to showcase more of our CEO and producer Bobby No Mate's talents. He broke off touring and studio work to perform his latest single, Medication. My friend smokes marijuana joints, they make him grin and titter. I told him he'd be better off with half a pint of bitter. Now available on the Pickwick label. He also granted a rare interview, although with a much less salubrious interviewer. I am rather ashamed to admit that it was in fact that interview which led to the appointment of Mike Gobshite. Yes, I have somewhat cornered the market there. Bobby felt that I had not adequately fulfilled the role. And you've just finished recording your latest album. We also gained our first postal correspondent in the absent person of Miss, not Ms., Dorothea Spume of Newport Pagnell. We opened the season with our first ever outside broadcast, which also introduced old Bob officially to the audience. Hello and welcome to the first outside broadcast from Not the Chair Circle. Shaggy, lad, what are you doing? He's gone on to make more substantial on-screen appearances. Back, you know. You're a great baker, are Dad? Which were a fat lot of bloody good because he was a plumber by trade. This led to Shaggy being let loose on an unsuspecting world in episode 2. As well as hearing more music from Bobby No Mates, and even myself, we had just a taste of the rubatos. I am told that we will be hearing much more of them in series 3. That's right, viewers, we're doing another one. But enough reminiscing, viewers. Nostalgia isn't what it used to be. Coming up next, we have the final Shaggy's bit of the series. As usual, I've been kept in the dark as to the subject matter, but he tells me it's a departure from the norm. I thought they all were. After that, we have our main feature. Mike Gobshite will once again be collaborating with other members of the crew to investigate another hot topic on the mental health front. We shall be ending with what has become somewhat traditional for the show, an original composition by the Bedlam Boogie Boys. But first, it's over to Studio 5 and Shaggy. Hello viewers! I know what you're thinking. This is all a bit different, isn't it? I'll tell you what's happening. Last week, the boss, Bobby No Mates, had me up in the office. He said he was rather concerned that my section was becoming boisterous and out of control. So this week we're going to be having a much more mellow version of Shaggy's bit. I would like to invite you to Shaggy's guided meditation. First, adopt a posture in whichever position suits you. We shall be using the reverse breathing technique. I want you to inhale through the mouth and exhale through the nose. So that's in through the mouth and out through the nose. Inhale through the mouth, exhale through the nose. On my sign. Very good. Now I want you to imagine that you are floating high above the rooftops of your town. You float quite naturally in your thermals, on the thermals, just drifting above the rooftops. And now you're drifting across the Asda car park. The people are far below you. All the whittering and chuntering and moaning and carrying on are just murmurs. Murmurs on the breeze. And now you're drifting across the park. You drift along the canal, over the barges, with the people. They're moaning and chundering and whittering on. It's just murmurs. Murmurs on the breeze. And now you're drifting out to the coast. And you're high over the sea, viewers. Can you smell the sea and the seagulls? And now I'd like you to visualise the very last person who got up your nose. They are small and insignificant, so small that they are actually up your nose. The right nostril to be precise. Now I invite you to take the ball of your left thumb and place it against your left nostril. Now, can you hear that, people? And there you are. Never more will your tranquility be ruined by that little snot.
Shaggy, what on earth do you think you're playing at? Stop that at once.
Oh dear, that's the boss, viewers. It doesn't sound very tranquil, does he? I dread to think what he's visualising right now. I'll best be off. Namaste, viewers. So there you are, viewers. Shaggy showing us his more spiritual side. I sometimes wonder if he's nasally fixated. Moving right along, we come to our main feature for the evening. In the last episode, I'm afraid that you and I viewers were both deceived. Mike was not filming in the Himalayas last week. He was instead conducting an undercover operation right here. He and two of the lads set out to uncover some unscrupulous behaviour in the local health authority. Hi, and welcome to Gobshite with me, Mike Gobshite. Now, regular viewers will know that we at Not the Chair Circle aim to raise awareness of cell-life circular phobia and its sufferers' natural aversion to group therapy. But are they any better off with one-to-one therapy? Tonight we shall be having a special investigative report which I am calling Extreme Gobshite, Therapists with Agendas. There have been multiple reports in the media recently that therapists, some with dubious qualifications, have been using their positions to further their own hidden agendas. I decided to investigate this phenomenon at local level and recruited old Bob in what was to become an undercover sting. Posing as a pest control operative, we sent Shaggy into the local council offices. There he installed hidden cameras in the rooms where we knew the one-to-one therapy sessions to be held. We had been given the names of 3 counsellors who were suspected of sharp practices during their working activities. We then sent in old Bob posing as a client. His cover story was that he was a disgruntled warehouseman who had been sent for a mandatory assessment by his employers after an incident at work. He was referred after he had been found to be intoxicated on the shop floor, quite literally. Subject 1 was a Christian Jolliphant, known as Call Me Chris. His references were sketchy to say the least. They came from his vicar, his mother, and the local neighbourhood watch. His qualifications turned out to be an online psychology degree, which had cost him $50. Suspicions arose when his clients simply disappeared after their sessions. We join this session as old Bob arrives.
Welcome, welcome. You must be Robert.
It's Bob.
Apologies, friend Bob. Call me Chris. Now then, what brings you here on this glorious morning?
Buggered if I know. I'm here for a mandatory assessment sent by the works doctor. They're trying to make out I have a problem.
How so?
They say having 5 or 6 pints over lunchtime is not usual. I say, well, how come pubs are open then? It's not like they don't piss it up in the boardroom having the management conference meetings.
Dear me, Bob. Could it be that perhaps that drinking beer at lunchtime is not the root of the problem? Could the trouble be more spiritual in nature?
Spirits? I never touch spirits at lunchtime. Look, if I ever don't know, if I'd have given the buggers what for when they started. Telling me I had a drink problem. 2 hands and only 1 mouth, I told them. That's the only drink problem I've got.
No, you misunderstand me. Could it be that your soul is troubling you? It is becoming more and more common in these uncertain times. My soul, your soul, our souls.
Our souls? Are you bloody starting?
No. What I'm trying to say is that sometimes we need to look higher to find succour. Instead of turning to the bottle, turn to the Lord.
Are you talking about God? I happen to be a decent upstanding atheist. I thought that these sessions were under the NHS, not the bloody Happy Clappy Brigade.
There are better sessions than these, Brother Bob. There is a minibus outside waiting to take all those who seek salvation to a wonderful meeting place, where everyone is happy in the Lord.
Not bloody likely. My church opens at 12 on a Sunday, and I intend to be there, worshipping at the altar with all the other like-minded folk. It transpired that Call Me Chris had been abducting his clients with the aid of the Jesus Warrior group. They had been taking them in their minibus to the woods for spiritual guidance. He later asked police that his sentence be commuted to psychiatric treatment, which he proposes to carry out on himself. The case continues. Next we come to Felicity Fliss Wanacott Smythe. She was brought to our attention after it was found that she was taking her clients to Harrods tea rooms for their assessments and claiming it back against expenses. It was also suspected that her qualifications from both Cambridge and Oxford might be bogus. We join them as the session starts. Fliss is running late, as usual.
Yes, come in, sit down. It's Sharon, isn't it?
Do I look like a Sharon to you?
Sorry, darling, it's these bloody case files. They expect me to do 3 or 4 a week. It's fucking outrageous.
Sorry to be such a burden, I'm sure. You're not what I was expecting.
Well, ditto, sweetie. I mean, when I took this job on, I was expecting to be discussing nervous exhaustion with some genteel, distraught ladies who lunch, possibly even housewives. We're not having to consort with acne-scarred junkies and teenage mothers from the council estate. And what's up with you, anyway? Depressed because your whippet's got cancer? Or have all your 15 children gone into care and now you don't have enough child support benefit to drink yourself stupid with? I beg your bloody pardon. Oh, I'm so sorry, darling. To be honest, I only took this job on to prove to Daddy I could buy my own bloody Porsche. He made such a fuss about giving me the Mayfair flat. It's not like he was using it. I tell you what. You sign the bloody chit to say I showed up and I'll piss off down the pub and leave you to it. How's that? Oh, would you, sweetie? The girls are meeting up in Groucho's in half an hour. I'll say you're making excellent progress and responding well to talk therapy. How would that be? Aye, champion. Marvellous.
Fliss was unrepentant when presented with a videotape of this session. She merely said,
I simply couldn't give a fuck, darling. As it is, I shall have to burn all the clothes I wore to that disgusting office. They absolutely stink of poor people.
An army of her father's lawyers then descended. The case continues. Finally we come to Nigel Spider Perkins. He became a therapist as part of his own rehabilitation program. He has no formal training. Suspicions arose after his clients appeared more disorientated and confused after his sessions than when they first arrived. We sent old Bob in.
Alright, geezer.
Now then,
So, what are you for then?
out as far as I can see. My boss seems to have a problem with me having a few jars before work.
Oh, yeah.
Sent me here for rehab, or else he's giving me my cards. Pillock.
Oh, there's nothing you can't tell me about the demon drink. I tell you, last year when I was in Ibiza, I was knocking back to Malibu like there was no fucking tomorrow.
Malibu?
Yeah.
That's bloody children's booze.
Oh, yeah.
I was just having a few honest pints of a morning before my shift. Not wrong in that, and he carries on like I'm some sort of bloody addict.
Well, I tell you what, there's this new treatment I've been trying out. I've been having quite a bit of success with it. It's called transference therapy.
Oh, what's that then?
What you do is, when you fancy a jar, you have this special cigarette instead. It makes you very relaxed.
Oh, aye. What's in it?
THC. It's a miracle cure. Thing is, it's not available on prescription right now. Now, I could get my hands on some test samples for you, but there might be a little charge towards research funds like.
The trouble with the youth of today is that they think they invented bloody drugs. If I want to smoke, I get myself down off the docks and I meet the steamer from bloody Kingston. Do you think I'm senile? Do you think I'm going to waste good money on some bastard skunk you grew in a bucket in your granny's airing cupboard? You little wazzock.
All right, Grandad, keep your fucking hair on, Jesus. I will bid you good day, sir. Twat.
After being held following a surprise police raid on his mum's house, Spider was later released on bail when it was discovered that the skunk and hash that he was supposedly selling was actually the contents of his mum's herbs and spice rack and excreta collected from his sister's rabbit hutch. The case continues. So viewers, the question stands. Are you better off with one-to-one therapy or the dreaded chairs in a circle? We advise that you use discretion and insist on full background checks as well as presentation of credentials before embarking on therapy with any so-called counsellor. This is Mike Gobshite, signing out. So viewers, another egregious report highlighting the collaborative efforts of our intrepid team. And that's nearly the end of the show, viewers. Not the Chair Circle will be taking a break for a few weeks while our artists fulfil various other commitments. Mike Gobshite has already set sail on a real fact-finding mission abroad. Our producer Bobby Nomates will be embarking on his much-awaited Back in Slacks tour, which will be ending in what is expected to be a sell-out week at the Theatre Royal Norwich. A treat for all fans of heavy metal xylophone. Shaggy will be returning to his spiritual homeland in the West Midlands, the Asda Superstore just outside Wolverhampton. He says he also intends to chew on some good black country air. As for the rest of us, we're just going to be mooching around the NTCC studios and sticking bits of film together to make Series 3. And they said it would never fly. Now in a moment the Bedlam Boogie Boys will be playing us out. But before that, the lads have asked me to express their extreme gratitude to you all for showing up to watch our little production. That is, of course, supposing that you're all still watching. That notwithstanding, I, on a personal note, would like to thank you, as ever, for your kind indulgence. Hope to see you in Series 3.
Your new girl has caught you out. You'll have to be a good boy now. There's no use to sulk and pout. You'll have to be a good boy now. You were such a naughty boy, but she's seen through every ploy. It's no use you acting coy. You'll have to be a good boy now. You will have to mend your ways. You'll have to be a good boy now. This could be the end of days. You'll have to be a good boy now. She won't wear you getting tight, late home each and every night. It's high time you saw the light. You'll have to be a good boy now.
You have been watching Not the Chair Circle, written, composed and performed by Bob McGowan, ably assisted by the people in his head. The producer would like to thank iMovie, GarageBand, Zapsplat and of course YouTube, without whom none of this would have been possible. This has been a Bobby Nomates production.
Your new girl has seen through you. You'll have to be a good boy now. She won't wear the things you do. You'll have to be a good boy now. You were caught out in a lie, phony tale, fake alibi. One more time and it's goodbye. You'll have to be a good boy now.